This is the Fox 11 News at 5.
Our state is recommending a 14-day quarantine for anyone traveling in or out of California, possibly upending plans for millions of holiday families.
Good evening. Welcome to Fox 11 News at 5. I'm Alex Michelson.
And I'm Christine Devine. Thanks for being with us. Travel advisories were issued today in the wake of an alarming uptick in COVID-19 cases. The advisories affecting travelers flying to and from the West Coast.
Yeah, and this comes just as people are getting ready for the Thanksgiving holiday. Hal Eisner live at LAX with more on that recommendation. Hal.
Yeah, and if you take a look behind me here at Terminal 7, you can see an uptick in activity. But for the most part today, it's been very slow here at LAX on a Friday of all things. And that's how the governors of California, Oregon, and Washington would like to keep it at all West Coast airports. So we now have a new travel advisory. It's a sad goodbye as Caroline Robinson and 10 other high school students from around the country wrap up a 2-month educational adventure, also known as a GAP program. But so much hugging, kissing, and closeness on the same day 3 West Coast governors issued a travel advisory.
The reason we're able to do that is because we took COVID tests a lot, and so we eventually formed a family unit where we could know that no one had it and could be safe within ourselves.
It's the emotion of the moment among travelers that have gotten very close. Robinson says they have gone through batteries of COVID testing during their 2 months and taken all precautions. But in these days before Thanksgiving, we're being discouraged from holiday gatherings outside our own immediate families. The governors of Oregon, Washington, and California urging people to avoid non-essential travel. The state's health secretary, Dr. Mark Galley, says things are dicey right now with COVID-19.
I was asked if we're in the middle of a surge. Absolutely.
Galley says we've seen an alarming 20% rate of rise in the state's cases. As for the travel advisory,
it isn't a ban. It isn't a restriction. This is an advisory.
Advice he thinks is critical at this juncture. One more thing.
People arriving in California from other states or other countries should self-quarantine for 14 days. This is not a new concept. This is something we ask people to do very early on.
To infectious disease doctors, it's all important.
This is when people are going to travel from one state to another. And when you're crossing state lines, you're carrying the infection, and it's based on the prevalence at the other place where you're traveling from.
Meanwhile, Caroline Robinson from Eugene, Oregon, believes the 3 governors and their health directors had the right idea.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, anything at this point to try and stop it.
And at 6 o'clock, we'll hear more from those doctors who believe that what the state has recommended is what we need now. Live at LAX, I'm Hal Eisner. Alex, Christine, back to you.